Hello and welcome back to Fit Fed Feeling Good. I am Meg, your host, and this is the podcast where we talk all things fitness, food, and feeling good. I am so excited to have you along for this conversation. Today is a food and feeling good episode, but before we start talking about all that fun food and feeling good, I want to check in that everybody is doing well after the storm, maybe that you were in, literally or figuratively. If you were in that winter storm that went through, I hope that you found some ways to keep your stress levels down. And what are some of those ways? You know, some breath work, stretching, reading a good book, doing some puzzles, whether it's a jigsaw or Sudoku. Whatever it is, I hope you found some ways to dive in to keep those stress levels down during a stormy time. After that, I would like to then go into my feeling good food episode. Okay, so recently I was extremely lucky girl to go to Disney World for a long weekend. And this was for my birthday, for Christmas, for all the holidays in between. And one of the biggest reasons to go to Disney World was because I have been dreaming and watching the videos of those Gideon cookies. If you have not seen them, I'm going to tell you to pause, even though I don't want you to pause this episode, but I'm going to tell you to pause. Go check out Gideons Bakehouse in Disney Springs. They also have another location in a spot in Orlando. And look at these ginormous cookies. So that was pretty much the draw. But then we did a lot of fun things in between it. It was a long weekend. We arrived on Friday and we were back on a plane on Tuesday morning. So short and sweet, but we did so much. And one of the main reasons was for that Gideon's cookie. But I want to go through some of the highlights of the food and the feeling good. So the first place we went to was Disney Springs because we arrived on Friday, probably landed at the airport around 1:30. So it was a little too early to go to our room and half of the day was gone. So we didn't want to spend the money to go to one of the parks. So we dropped our bags off, which was wonderful, and we took the bus over to Disney Springs. And we were hungry because it was, we did not eat and it was an early flight. So we went over to a place in Disney Springs called the Polite Pig. It was a barbecue place. And I thought, all right, I want to be mindful. I want to be thoughtful about a few approaches to our Disney experience. One was our spending and two was what we were eating. Now we did splurge, for calories and sweetness and all that, but tried to keep it a little moderate. So at the Polite Pig, I actually thought the prices were pretty decent. We split, my husband and I, we got the pretzel appetizer and then a salad. And I got a side of the brisket to add to the salad. Oh, it was perfect. It was really delicious and actually pretty quick. So got in line, weaved through the line, placed my order. They were very nice at the place I was placing the order. He was very helpful. And the salad had this avocado crema around the bowl. So when you took a bite, you kind of scooped that up. It had this spicy ranch almost dressing that was tossed throughout everything. There was corn and really fresh tomatoes and avocado and cheese. It was a very good salad. And then we added the brisket in there, which, wow, my mouth is watering now just thinking about that. And then the pretzel came with a few sauces. There was a honey mustard and I think this cheesy sauce. Oh, it was very, very good. So we started off our Disney trip on the best note at the Polite Pig. So Polite Pig, great job. Then our family members who live about an hour from Disney, they met us. But at first we went to Gideon's. Now this is an experience on its own. It's almost waiting for one of the big popular rides. You go up to the desk and it's outside and she tells us it's a 3-hour wait. Well, you don't have to wait. Oh, well, you could if you wanted to. you give your phone number and you get a text when it's about 30 minutes. The line is about 30 minutes to come back and get in line. So we put our name in and we went and met our family members. And there's another restaurant down called Summer House, and they also have a big cookie display. So our family members got a couple cookies. So we tried those. We walked around to all their fun shops. We're putting on the Star Wars helmets and we're looking at all the fun Disney merchandise. Very, very fun. And one of the next best parts, well, probably above even all that, was our son landed and was texting us that he was on the bus. He dropped his bag off. He was on his way. So I ran to meet him because he was walking down. I saw him. And it was right that time that we were called back for Disney, the Gideon's Cookie Bake Shop, to get in line. So we got in line and it went really rather quickly. And you get in and you're still weaving through, and it's a little dark in there and mysterious. And they have, now I wish I would have exactly written this down, but I think, let's say they have 6 selections of cookies and cake slices and a few other, they have these cookie chunks that are dipped in chocolate. So I think we got 5 cookies. And we got their special, the banana box. We got their original OG chocolate chip. We got their double chocolate chip. Oh, it was so good. And then we got their pistachio toffee chocolate chip. And then the Oreo, the cookies and cream one. And they come wrapped in this really fun wax paper that has the Gideon's logo on it and in a box, and they gave us a big bag. So we check out, and actually my son pointed out, oh, I thought it was going to be a lot more expensive than what it was. Now, I'm not saying it was cheap, but these cookies are ½ pound each, and we got quite a bit of them and this huge cake slice. And that was kind of our dessert through our whole weekend, because when we would get back to the hotel at night, we just would munch a couple bites of the cookies over the weekend. So, and then I have some in our freezer at home. So it was dessert city for quite a bit. Well, after we paid and got out the door, there's a lot of nice, not seating, but cement benches you can just sit down. So we did the crack and stack of the cookie and took a video of all the chocolate around it. And we each just tried a little bit of a few of them, not a lot of them. I was quite full from the polite pig, but I did want to try the cookie. And then we wrapped them up. We put them back in the bag. Everybody really enjoyed it. And that was such a highlight. I've been wanting to go forever. So, wow, I just felt so lucky to go. We walked around a little more, went to the big Disney store, and then there were bands playing. And we did stop then. It was probably around 8 o'clock at Wine Bar George for just some hearty bites. So we did not order meals. We got the hummus. We got the flaming Saganaki cheese, which was delicious. We got some meatballs on polenta. So we just got, and there was how many of us? 5 of us. And we all just kind of had a bite of that. Very, very tasty, flavorful, garlicky and delicious. And we just had water. So very mindful of our cost there. And we sat on the upper level outside, and it was perfect temperature. I had on a big, long kind of duster sweater, jeans, and then a long sleeve shirt under that, and it was just perfect. And the band played at one of the outside pavilions, so we could watch them and listen to them and enjoy our bites. And after that, our family friends wanted to go back to Gideon's because they had, I don't know why, there was another special release or a warm cookie hour that they wanted to go to get that cookie. The 3 of us, my husband and my son and I, we went back to the hotel because by then our daughter was landing and we wanted to go meet and greet her because we had an early morning the next day. So we were going to Hollywood Studios on that Saturday, and we rope dropped a rock and roller coaster, the Aerosmith ride, mostly because one, we wanted to get on that ride, and two, it is going away, and it's apparently going to be a Muppet ride pretty soon. So, and the line moved rather quickly because we got to get in the park a half an hour early from the hotel we were staying at, and we ran right over there like many people do. And even though it felt crowded, it didn't feel crowded because Disney does a great job of dispersing the crowds with their parades and their little pocket performances and the shows and then the rides and the food. I think people just, even though you're passing a lot of people, it doesn't feel terribly crowded. And then after the ride, when we had a great time, our song was Sweet Emotion, and we got right on. Now, because we got so quick into the ride, we didn't get the pre-show things that Disney does when you have to wait a really long time for the ride. We did that, and then right from there, we went to Tower of Terror, walked basically right on, maybe a 5-minute wait. And then after that, we did get a bite. So we got breakfast, and we went to there's a little section of some food trucks, but they're always there. So they're not mobile food trucks. And there was a breakfast plate that consisted of 3 mini Mickey waffles, 2 pieces of bacon, and it came with some little syrup and butter and then some orange juice, I believe. And my daughter and I split one plate. Oh, the Mickey waffles were so tasty. A little bit of syrup was perfect. So just a couple bites of that, and we were good to go. My pro tip was I did bring a few bottles of water every day in my backpack. So we just kept filling those up through the day. So we did not have to buy water or soda, which I felt saved us quite a bit of money. And we did a few more rides, and we went to the Indiana Jones show. So fun. Well, this was a splurge, this next thing we did. We went to the Brown Derby for lunch, and it was almost Lupper. I think our reservation was at 2 p.m., and it was the show package lunch. Now, I did error on this. I did not look it up. It was a lot of food, but in my mind, I thought this is our one meal. We're just going to eat this 2 o'clock kind of Lupper. But the meal ticket with your show ticket was included an entree for everyone and a dessert for everyone and a drink for everyone. So it was a lot of food. And these desserts, we could have split one, but everything was very, very tasty. My son got the chocolate cake, very rich and decadent. Of course, Disney does it right. I got the crumble brulee, and I think not everyone in my family is a big fan of that, but it was very tasty. And we had a good time. My daughter got the grapefruit cheesecake, very different, but fresh. Liked that very much. And we all had an entree, tasty, but after the fact, I think that purchase was mostly so we did not have to stand in line for 2 hours to go see the end of the night show. And that was such a gift. And I'm not saying we wouldn't have waited because it's a wonderful show and people wait, but that was a big splurge for this weekend that we did. And after the show, it was probably 9 o'clock. We walked and waited for our ride back to the hotel and basically did the same thing the next day. Got up, we rope dropped. No, we did not rope drop. Yes, we did. We ran right to Seven Dwarfs. And the line looked really long, but the ride wasn't open yet. So we had to wait for the park's official opening. And it was just such a beautiful sunny day, and it was so nice. And while we were waiting, my daughter and I ran over to one of the little food carts. We were the first one, I think, to even get there. And we got the Cheshire Cat's chocolate croissant tail. It looks like the tail, but it's a chocolate croissant with some fun pink and blue drizzle chocolate. So brought that back in line, and we all just shared one. So that was basically our first food purchase, and we had the waters in my backpack, so got to drink some water with that. Went on the Seven Dwarfs ride. That was so fun. I had a great time. That day we did get some rain, and it did push people into areas that they probably wouldn't have gone. So a lot of the restaurants, a lot of the shows were very crowded. We went to the Country Bear Jamboree. It was so much fun. And the songs were current and new, and those bears did a great job. We did get the Dole Whip. Oh, the Dole Whip. My son said that that was probably the best thing he had all weekend. So my daughter and I shared one, just the original in a cup. My son did get the Dole Whip with the juice, so you could drink it and eat it. And he said it was just amazing. Then when the rain came, we went over to Columbia House. Now that was on the plan, although the plan was adjusted because of the rain, and everybody was in this store. And that was the first time we did the mobile order. And it was on the plan because they have a lobster roll on their menu. And I did want to try it because for a lobster roll, I thought the price was actually very good. So I was curious how big it was going to be, how filling it was going to be. So for our table of 4, we got 2 lobster rolls. And we just split those. It was just a perfect lunch bite. And that was great. Then that night, I got a tip from one of the Instagram gals to get a reservation at Tony's on the plaza during the parade. And that worked out beautifully. But I will tell you, halfway through this day, I was pretty full from half of that lobster roll. I kept saying, we should cancel Tony's. We should cancel Tony's. And then it was mostly because they have this garlic bread stack with this cheese sauce you can pour over it. So I wanted to try that, but I was feeling, I don't want to take a table just to order the garlic bread for the server. And my family convinced me it would be totally fine. So we went, and I am so glad we did. They sat us at the perfect spot right by the doors. Now, it was pretty chilly because I told you it was raining. So they opened the doors when the parade came, and you could see right out, and it was so fun to watch the parade and sit at Tony's, and we enjoyed that garlic bread. It was better than I thought. And a lot of the reviews said Tony's is probably one of the maybe least popular restaurants, but that it's gotten better. And I will say it was very good. It was very good. And so we split a few appetizers there, which was great, and soda water, and it was doable, and it was delicious, and we had a great time. Then it started getting dark and cold. It was getting quite cold. So we just stayed kind of in the shops, did a little browsing, had a great time. And that was the day the Bears were playing. So we found a spot on a bench to watch the Bears game to wait until the fireworks display over the castle. We got so lucky with a great spot. This wonderful duo, these 2 girls were sitting at a big table, and we said, do you mind if we just sit here? And they were very, very, of course, come sit. We have a seat for you. It was great. This was the most beautiful laser firework sound production. I was in tears. just all the Disney songs, and they do a great job of making, the Disney beauty, and then maybe the villain side music comes, and there's a little bit of mystery, and then at the end, it's just the song that uplifts you and gets you motivated, and wow, what a gift. I'm probably going to cry right now because it was very pretty. Then, as soon as that last boom of the firework, we start running to the buses. We're running to the buses because we want to get on one of the first ones. So I think we got on the second bus, so it was not a terrible wait, and finished the Bears game, which was not the outcome my family was hoping for, but it was so fun to be able to watch it while we were still at the fantastic Disney World. Then the next day, Epcot. And Epcot was the Festival of the Arts food. Now, when we did some research, the time we went, it said that it would be not so crowded, that it would be a good time to go, except this was a food festival weekend. So it was crowded, but it still felt good. So we didn't rush out of our room. We got a little extra sleep that morning, and we woke up. We went to a few shows. I mean, we hit a lot right away with very minimal wait. The short film festival was so cute. There were 3 little short movies, 3D, emotions that you couldn't even describe. When you're watching Up, you're crying within the first 2 minutes of it. It was that kind of production. I think the whole show was 15 minutes. We did a few other quick rides. We went to Soarin', which I was a little nervous because it's a screen. You're watching the screens and you're flying. But it was perfect. I did not have any dizziness or vertigo or anything like that. But before, I'll tell you, the first thing we did as soon as we entered the park, we entered into the World Showcase, not the main entrance. We were able to walk to Epcot. We went right to the France Pavilion, and we went to the snack little area, and they were already open, and we got the ham and cheese croissant. It was very tasty. And did we get anything else? No, I think that's all we got. We got 2 of those and we split them, and again, I had my water. And then we did go to a few of the Festival of the Arts pavilions and tried a few of their small bites. And what is nice about the festival is the portion sizes are small. So the prices are decent. So you can get this tiny little soft shell crab slider, and I think that was $6.95. So you can kind of bite your way around the quote unquote world. And we all just kind of shared, except I think we did get hungry. I think the best thing I had was the croque monsieur. I was looking forward to this, though, with the little side of tomato soup. And the weather was a little chilly, so you got to dip that warm sandwich in the warm soup. Oh, it was very good. We tried the Norway coffee. I got the non-alcoholic one. It had a coconut foam topping with some coconut shavings toasted on top, and then the coffee. It was very tasty. My family got one of the something bread. Oh, I don't have this written down, but yes, very, very good. And we walked around. Our dinner then was at the Mexico La Hacienda. Now, this was this was a tip from my travel planner, Lisa George of Mickey Travels. She helps me with this because I first made a reservation at the other Mexico restaurant, but she said it's all enclosed. My tip would be try to get a reservation around the light show at La Hacienda because it's all windows. So we did just that. We were very close to missing our reservation. Our reservation was at 8 o'clock. We arrived around 8:15 because we were waiting in line for Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and the ride went down for a little bit. So our wait was quite long. But that was the most fun ride ever. And I feel I'm getting older, more mature. I could have stayed on that ride all day long. It was so smooth and so cool. And the pre-show, it was, I didn't even tell you about Rise of the Resistance over at Hollywood Studios. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. But Guardians of the Galaxy, no, Guardians of the Galaxy was more of a ride. There were some screens, but you're just kind of watching a little bit of a movie piece, where Rise of the Resistance, you're in the screen moving, where I that's not my favorite. Some people absolutely love that. That's wonderful. I'm so glad. And there's a little segment of that in Rise of the Resistance. But the set, you almost feel like you are in Star Wars. You are in the movie. You are in the planet. It's amazing. I don't even know how big this production set is. It has to be enormous. And when you're walking through the park, you don't even see it because it's set off, or you go underground a little bit. Incredible. But Guardians of the Galaxy, we rode it 3 times that day. And I tell you, I could have stayed on that ride all day long. And the other highlight was the Tron ride at Magic Kingdom. That too was super cool, but it was very short. It's very short. And for the amount of time you're waiting in line, you put that on the scale, but it's very cool. It's very fun. So Mexico. Now, because we went around the countries snacking on the Festival of Art bites, again, I got to the point where, shoot, maybe we should cancel this reservation. And my family said, let's just go. We'll order a couple appetizers, just like we've been eating, and hopefully we'll watch the show. Well, our seat was not ideal. And there were a few open tables along the window, and they said, those are reserved for different parties. So they sat other people there, which was totally fine. But when the show started, there was a table that was open. So my family kind of just, lights go off. Your server actually tells you the show's about to start. Service is going to pause for a little bit during the show. Oh, that show, it was amazing, incredible. I mean, I think I cried so many times on this trip because I just felt so fortunate. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is I just want you to maybe live through it, because I know how fortunate I was to be able to go. And it was so wonderful, and I had such a good time. And to be with my family was fantastic. And I just soaked it up so much. And I'm almost recording this as a little memory so I can listen again and look through my pictures at the Gideon's cake and all of these Festival of the Art, foods we tried. My son, he was more of the meal guy. So when we went to the Germany country, he got himself a brat. We all tasted it, but he really wanted almost a meal for himself, and then didn't bite as much as we were biting around the world. But what else was so good? A lot of things were really, 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 really tasty. Oh, we got a piece of pizza from Italy. That was good. That was good. And my family said, let's get 2 slices. And I said, let's just get 1. They look big. We can all have a couple bites. Oh, how could I not forget? So then we finished that 1 piece. So we did. We only got 1 piece. And the price to size ratio I thought was fairly reasonable. And the kids went off and got a sweet treat. My daughter came back. She said, you have to try this hot chocolate. It had chocolate sprinkles on top and whipped cream. It was like the most luxurious melted chocolate bar. It was so, so, so tasty. And my son got gelato. And it was the best ice cream I have ever had. It was so good. Yeah, everything was just so good. And I felt so lucky to be able to go. And I hope that this maybe made you kind of taste it in your mouth too, because it was really good. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here for this conversation. If this inspired you to try some new food, I hope it did. And just know that I just wanted to share because it was such a wonderful experience in my whole life. And I had such a great time with my family. And I just wanted to share it and have it so I could listen to it myself for when maybe, a feel-good journal. But remember, I am not a doctor. I'm not a counselor. If you need any sort of medical or healthcare professional, please seek the attention you need. Thank you so much for joining.